all the dry ingredients for dough number 1. There is actually one thing I forgot to mention. Scales. Does anybody have scales? You can scale at least 0.1 gram. Very important because a lot of the stuff you have to be very precise, and if you're not precise, the recipes don't work. Every time when we make this recipe, we have half a class where the dough is way too soft. What is scaling issues? Okay, so dry ingredients. Go in a food processor. Gonna mix them all together. So mixed starches, and then we're gonna put the liquid oil in there. Put all the oils. So they're all melted, okay? I know it's a weird recipe. Right? Okay, so mix together, and that's it. That's our first part. Okay? Put it in a container. Don't make a mess. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's get this all in there. So that was the starches, the locust being up in our citrus flavor. Because the citrus fiber will emulsify everything, and the gums will stabilize. Good. This part, and then we're gonna wrap it up in the refrigerator later. So now the second part gonna be a little different. You're gonna need a bowl. And we need a towel. Can I get a towel there? So this second dough, you're gonna make more than the pie dough. Remember how you made the pie dough, right? So we mix the flour and xanthan gum. So the xanthan gum is, this one is 3.8. And then I mix it together with the dry ingredients. Flour, xanthan gum, put everything in a bowl. I got rice flour. Then I have my brown rice flour. And then coconut. Can we melt this too? Maybe. So and then this part has a little bit sugar in it. Just regular granulated sugar. Because this dough actually works almost like it's sort of a cross between pie dough and sweet mix. So it works as both. It works really well. So what is missing here? The water. So water, be very careful. We don't need all the water. Well, the recipe says 120, but it's only, don't put 120 because it's going to be too runny. Thank you. So the only fat we always melt is the coconut fat. For any recipe, we always melt it to room temperature. Okay. For the second part, the vegan fat, we're gonna leave solid. So it's like a pie dough. We're gonna take that and we actually put it into our dry ingredients. And then we're gonna add this to it, or coconut fat, and now we mix it. So the second dough should be a very crumbly, it should have a very crumbly consistency. Okay? So right the opposite what we have here. And the water, we only put enough water in it because we just want this dough, when we clump it together, it should stay together in your hand. So it clumps up a little bit, but it shouldn't be moist or wet by any means. Okay? So right now, this is very dry, right? So I just need a little water. Just so it comes together. So it doesn't take much. So probably each person needs a little different amount, right? Not everybody uses the same. This is gonna be very important. So it's still very dry, so it doesn't really clump together yet. So I need a little bit more. And then tomorrow, we mix the dough 1 with dough 2, and then we get a beautiful consistency. It feels almost like a sweet paste. Oh, there we go. So now it starts sticking a little bit better. Still a little dry, so a little bit more water. There we go, I think I'm almost there. So it's almost like a crumble. Did you guys make crumble before? Okay, see now I squeeze it and it stays together. That's all I need. You see that? It's still dry, but when I squeeze it together, it stays together. That's all we need. So it's still very dry, don't put any more water in it, okay? So we let this sit overnight. I always have a tendency to put a little bit more water in on it, but when I do, then it's too soft to go. So you have to be very careful that you don't put too much water in. Because when it's too soft, then you have a hard time working even with it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it. And I'll put this in another container. Then we're gonna wrap it up, put it in the fridge. And so this is one. Perfect. So with the groups, there's one group gonna be 3, otherwise we have groups of 2, right? So who's working on the back table? Because we're 17, right? So who's the group of three?
This one. Last table. Yeah. So you and Lisa, who else? And you? Yeah. So Kava,
You guys?
Steven, and Lisa.
Okay. So because then we have the one table and then the other table on the wall, so then we should have the three people. Okay. So this recipe, we're gonna have each group of two gonna do double the recipe. Okay, so that's basically one recipe per person. So we're gonna do double the recipe per group of two. And then you do